I gotta say something about this, bro. Dwayne Wade, you gone too fucking far, dog. That is a male. A 12-year-old. At 12, they don't even know what their next meal gonna be. They don't have it figured out yet. He might meet a woman, anything at 16 and fall in love with her. But it's be gone. How you gon' like, bro, you going too far, dog. Don't cut his off, bro. Like, bro, for real. You gon'
It started with a video nobody expected to see, not from King Harris. The son of rap legend T.I., and Tiny had always been known for his wild energy, bold confidence, and that I don't care attitude. But this time, things went way beyond his usual antics. The video that hit the internet didn't just shock fans. It shook the whole industry and left his family completely blindsided. Within hours, social media exploded. And then out of nowhere, Boosie, yes, Boosie Badass himself, jumped online and turned the entire situation into a public circus. But behind all the jokes, the trolling, and the memes, there was real pain. What happened next left King's family more divided than ever before. No one saw it coming. When that clip dropped late one Friday night, it spread like wildfire. It wasn't your typical video of King flexing his jewelry or arguing online. This was something darker, something that crossed a line. The footage seemed to show King in a compromising situation, surrounded by chaos, aggression, and what looked like real danger. Nobody could tell exactly what was happening, but it was clear enough that it painted a picture no parent ever wants to see. Within minutes, social media lit up. Tweets flew, blogs went crazy, and fans flooded the comments in disbelief. Some were laughing, others were genuinely worried. But the loudest voice of all came from Boosie. Boosie, who's never been one to hold his tongue, wasted zero time before jumping on live. He laughed, shook his head, and said, "Man I gotta get his little man under control. King think he a real gangster till he meet one." Those words sliced through the internet like a blade, sharp, mocking, and meant to sting. He didn't just clown King. He came for T.I. too, dragging his name right into the mess. And the crazy part? People loved it. The comments filled up with laughing emojis, people hyping Boosie up, saying he was just keeping it real, saying what others were too afraid to say. But not everyone agreed. Some felt Boosie went too far, turning a young man's obvious struggle into a punchline. Meanwhile, T.I. stayed quiet, at least at first. But behind the scenes, people close to the family said he was furious. Not just at Boosie, but at how fast the world turned his son's pain into entertainment. T.I. had always been proud of King's independence, that fiery spirit, that confidence. But now, that same energy was turning against him, and against the family name. Tiny, on the other hand, was heartbroken. Sources say she was in tears. She'd watched her son grow up in the spotlight, under constant judgment, and now it felt like all that pressure had finally exploded. But while the Harris family tried to handle things privately, Boosie kept going. He doubled down, posting more clips, making more jokes, and even calling T.I. out by name. He said, "You can't raise no street dude in a mansion. That boy confused. That ain't real." At that point, it wasn't just about the video anymore. It was personal. See, Boosie and T.I. have a complicated history. They were once cool, even talked about working together. But over the years, things soured. Some say jealousy played a role, others say pride. Whatever the cause, this moment reignited every bit of that old tension. And this time, it wasn't just between them. It was about their sons, their families, their reputations. Because in the world of hip-hop, legacy is everything. And this situation put both men's legacies on the line. The internet didn't waste a second digging deeper. Old interviews, old posts, and old clips of King started resurfacing. Moments where he'd bragged about being from the trenches. Even though everyone knew he'd grown up in luxury. People mocked him, turned him into a meme, and called him fake tough. But what made it sting wasn't just the cruelty, it was the truth buried inside it. King had always wrestled with his identity. He was born into fame, but wanted respect from the streets. He didn't just want to be T.I.'s son. He wanted to prove that he could stand on his own, that he wasn't soft, that he had grit. Now that same image he worked so hard to build was being used to tear him down. A few days passed before T.I. I finally broke his silence. He didn't go live or clap back. He simply posted a quiet message. We all fall. What matters is how we get back up. My son's got a good heart. He's learning. Pray for him. It was calm, measured, and full of love. The kind of response you'd expect from a father who's seen it all. But the internet wasn't satisfied. People wanted fire. They wanted to go off on Boosie, to defend his son with that same energy he shows in his music. And eventually he did. In a surprise Instagram live, I finally spoke, not as a rapper but as a father. His face was tense, his voice low but firm. Y'all think it's funny, huh? He said. Ain't nothing funny about watching your child struggle. Ain't nothing funny about the whole world clowning a young man who's still trying to find himself. He paused, staring straight into the camera. Boosie, you know better. You a father too. You could hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't anger for the internet. It was hurt for his son. A father trying to hold it together while the world turned his family into a spectacle. But Boosie wasn't backing down. He went live again laughing. Man, I said what I said. You raise your son, I'll raise mine. That single line split the internet in half. Some people sided with Boosie, saying he was just keeping it real, calling out what needed to be said. Others stood with I, applauding him for protecting his family and showing empathy when everyone else was tearing them apart. It stopped being just gossip. It turned into a bigger conversation about parenting, fame, and how social media turns real pain into entertainment. Behind closed doors, King was struggling. People close to him said he was angry, embarrassed, and exhausted from being the internet's punching bag. He stopped going out, stayed off live, and tried to block out the noise. But the internet wasn't satisfied. People wanted fire. They wanted to go off on Boosie, to defend his son with that same energy he shows in his music. And eventually he did. In a surprise Instagram live, I finally spoke, not as a rapper, but as a father. His face was tense, his voice low but firm. Y'all think it's funny, huh? He said. Ain't nothing funny about watching your child struggle. Ain't nothing funny about the whole world clowning a young man who's still trying to find himself. He paused, staring straight into the camera. Boosie, you know better. You a father too. You could hear the pain in his voice. It wasn't anger for the internet. It was hurt for his son. A father trying to hold it together while the world turned his family into a spectacle. But Boosie wasn't backing down. He went live again laughing. Man, I said what I said. You raise your son, I'll raise mine. That single line split the internet in half. Some people sided with Boosie, saying he was just keeping it real, calling out what needed to be said. Others stood with I, applauding him for protecting his family and showing empathy when everyone else was tearing them apart. It stopped being just gossip. It turned into a bigger conversation about parenting, fame, and how social media turns real pain into entertainment. Behind closed doors, King was struggling. People close to him said he was angry, embarrassed, and exhausted from being the internet's punching bag. He stopped going out, stayed off live, and tried to block out the noise. But the internet never forgets. Every new post brought back the same comments. Every time I dropped new music, someone mentioned Boosie's words. The shadow followed them everywhere. Then came a twist no one expected. A new video surfaced, but this time it wasn't leaked. Someone close to King filmed it. It showed him sitting down, calm, vulnerable, speaking directly to the camera. People think they know me, he said softly. But they don't know what it's like growing up with everybody watching, judging, waiting for you to fail. I ain't perfect. I just want peace. And just like that, the tone shifted. For the first time, people saw beyond the headlines. They saw the kid. Not the meme, not the name, just a young man trying to find himself in a world that never gave him space to breathe. The one who had grown up in a spotlight too bright for any teenager to handle. Even Boosie went quiet for a while. Maybe it hit him too, that beneath all the jokes, there was a young man just trying to figure out his place in the world. Tiny reposted the clip with a broken heart emoji. I dropped another message. Growth starts when pain hits hardest. It wasn't flashy, but it spoke volumes. But the piece didn't last long. because not everyone believed King's words were genuine. Some fans accused the family of doing damage control, trying to fix the narrative after the backlash. And once again, Boosie jumped in, claiming it was all PR nonsense, and that sent the story spinning again. Blog Renited, podcast débatted. Everyone wanted to know, was King really changing, or was this just another celebrity cleanup? Then something unexpected happened. One of Boosie's old friends went live and said Boosie had taken things too far. That mocking a kid was wrong, especially one who clearly needed support. He said, "You can't clown a child just to stay relevant. That's low, even for Boosie." Fans started turning on him. Slowly the tide shifted. What once was a viral laugh became a serious conversation about mental health, parenting, and how quick people are to judge kids in the public eye. Meanwhile, King started speaking more openly. He posted short clips about family, pain, and growth, without the bravado, without the chains, without the flexing. For the first time, people saw King Harris, not the caricature the internet had created. And then something beautiful happened. T.I. and Boosie, who had been at odds for months, were spotted in the same place, a private charity event in Atlanta. Cameras caught them shaking hands. No smiles, but a handshake. The tension was thick, but it was a sign of progress. Maybe they realized the feud had gone too far. Maybe they both understood that the kids watching them needed to see men lead, not fight. Whatever the reason, it was powerful. Later, T.I. shared a post with no caption, just a picture of him and King walking side by side. In the comments, fans flooded with love, saying things like, "That's growth. Real fathers don't give up." As for King, he stayed quiet for a while. He didn't need to speak, his actions were doing the talking. Small community events, less social media drama, more focus on his real life. And that's when the full circle hit. This wasn't just about a leaked video. It was about a family learning how to protect each other in a world that profits off their pain. It was about a father and son reconnecting after being torn apart by fame, pride, and misunderstanding. Boosie's harsh words showed what happens when entertainment turns cruel. T.S. pride revealed that real strength isn't control, it's compassion. And King became proof that even after public humiliation, redemption is possible. By the end, fans stopped laughing. They watched a father and son trying to rebuild away from cameras and judgment. This wasn't about clout or jokes anymore. It was about love, forgiveness,